Tung 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 tung. Perhatian, Bobi Chris ngobrol segera dimulai. Siapkan diri kamu untuk menerima informasi edukatif yang asik dari Bobi dan Chris. Cari posisi dan kondisi yang senyaman mungkin untuk mendengarkan episode kali ini. Selamat mendengarkan. Dung 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 dung.
Selamat datang di Bobipedia Bedtime Story. Segmen khusus Bobi akan ngobrol lebih banyak sama Sobat Bocin sambil belajar bahasa Inggris bareng-bareng. Segmen ini biasanya muncul di setiap minggu pertama, tapi nanti aku kasih tahu kenapa gak kelewatan ya. Share juga teman-teman Sobat Bocin yang ingin belajar bahasa Inggris juga. Jadi Sobat Bocin, aku lagi menyiapkan sesuatu yang besar banget, gede banget. Jadi ya butuh waktu lama untuk mengerjakan itu sambil mau rilis episode ini. Mungkin terlalu asik kali ya. Jadi lupa untuk bikin episode baru. Nah Sobat Bocin sudah tidak sabar kan dengar Bobi cerita. Langsung aja deh ke Bobi.
Ya Bobi seneng ini sama ceritanya. Soalnya namanya sama, mirip sama Bobi. Jadi ini ya buat Sobat Bocin itu tahu apa enggak. Tapi Bobi kasih tahu lah, klarifikasi gitu.
Ya kita kan gak salah.
Ya gak apa-apa, klarifikasi biar jelas.
Ya sudah lanjut.
Ya Bobi itu namanya cuma 4 huruf ya. B-O-B-I, oke? B-O-B-I. Jangan sampai salah ketik nanti Sobat Bocin, nanti komen B-O-B-I pakai yang lain. Pokoknya selain itu namanya Bobi cuma 4 kata, 4 huruf, oke?
Nah hubungannya apa sama ceritanya?
Ya ceritanya kan pemeran utamanya itu juga sama Bobinya, cuma B-nya double di tengah itu. Sama pakai Y gitu ya. B-O-B-B-Y.
Bobi suka ya karakter utamanya ceritanya mirip Bobi?
Oh iya dong. Kan sesama pemilik nama Bobi itu harus saling mendukung, saling menghargai.
Kayak perkumpulan nama Bobi kayak perkumpulan Budi gitu ya.
Ya itu kan Budi ini Bobi.
Iya tahu beda. Nah buat Sobat Bocin yang gak tahu, Bobi ini kurcaci ya di podcast ini. Nah kalau Bobi yang dicerita nanti yang bakal dibaca soal apa?
Jangan cuma Bobi doang yang kurcaci, kakak Sela yang kurcaci.
Ya kakak Sela kan gak di sini.
Ya tapi kan kakak Sela nanti habis gini.
Oh, iya. Kakak Sela juga kurcaci.
Nah Bobi ini ceritanya itu keledai tapi bisa terbang.
Wah, keren banget ya keledai bisa terbang ya. Jarang-jarang loh, karena keledai itu kebanyakan dibilang orang binatang yang nggak pinter gitu.
Oh gitu ya. Bobi yang satunya dibilang keren, Bobi yang ini enggak.
Ya bukan gitu dong, ada kumat lagi nih penyakit ini. Bukan keren, Bobi itu lucu.
Ya bilanglah sekali-sekali keren gitu loh, masa lucu terus pujiannya. Udah biasa lah.
Agak sombong agak gimana nih. Ya sudah ya, Bobi keren deh, Bobi keren.
Makasih. Ya biar seru lah podcastnya, biar ada intrik.
Ada intrik. Oke, durasi. Langsung aja deh, Bobi ceritanya apa?
Nah seperti yang dibahas tadi, Bobi itu mau bacakan satu cerita, judulnya itu Bobi the Flying Donkey. Itu ya pakai B2 ya sama Y1 di belakang. Itu ceritanya dari David E. Miller. Nah ceritanya ini agak panjang dibanding Bedtime Story biasanya, tapi pasti tetap seru. Selamat mendengarkan. Woohoo! Bobi shouted as he whooshed past all the other donkeys grazing on the green grass. All the other donkeys looked up at him as he flew by and gave a very disappointed look. Things were not easy for Bobi. He was stranger than all the other donkeys. He was brown just like them. He had huge teeth just like them. And he had 4 hooves just like them. But he had wings and they didn't. And they didn't like that. Like I said, Bobi had wings and he loved to whoosh here and whoosh there. So much so it made all the other donkeys call him names and say mean things. Like, are you even a donkey? Bobi always felt a little sad, but he just carried on whooshing around because it always cheered him up. Nobody knew why Bobi had wings. His mom didn't have wings, and his dad didn't have wings either. Sadly, he didn't know much else because both his parents were orphans, but Bobi didn't think too much about it because he could whoosh everywhere. And And while everybody who saw Bobi always thought he was the strangest donkey, do you know what? Bobi could reach the highest hill and fly across miles and miles in seconds, while the other donkeys had to trot, and it took them ages to get to wherever they wanted to go. One day, a few of the other donkeys were looking at him. Finally, one of them trotted up to Bobi and said, "Why do you fly instead of running?" Bobi didn't know how to answer them, except by describing how fun it was. He said, "Wouldn't you if you could be there in seconds and there wasn't a place you couldn't reach?" They didn't reply to him but just turned around and started eating again. Another day, as all the donkeys grazed on the grass, something flew over their heads. All they saw was a shadow of something that looked like a horse, but wasn't a horse, because it was in the sky. They turned around and said to Bobi, "Stop messing around, Bobi." Bobi said, "I didn't do anything. Why do you always blame me?" Again, something flew over their heads. They quickly jumped around to check on Bobi. He said, "What? How could it be me? I'm right here." All the donkeys were so confused, but couldn't figure what it could be. They glared into the sky, looking all around. Nope, they couldn't see anything. Bobi was getting annoyed. "Now, how could I be up there and down here at the same time?" he muttered. Just then, in the bush in front of him, he could see a big tail flicking left and right. All excited, he trotted over to the bush. Bobi's jaw dropped open. It was another flying donkey. Well, not quite. It didn't have big teeth, but it had 4 hoofs and 2 wings. The real difference was that it was pink. Bobi said, "Who are you? What are you? Where did you come from?" The pink flying donkey said, "Whoa, slow down, my friend. Firstly, my name is Rio, and I live just over that hill. If you squint your eyes and then lean forward just a bit, you might be able to see the mountain that is closest to my place." And that's a silly question. What am I? We are the same. We are both goats. Not really. We don't have a special name, but I'm a donkey. Bobi smiled. "My name is Bobi, and I'm a donkey as well. That's what I tell out of them out there anyway, even though they say I'm not, because I've got wings." Rio giggled. "We're just a little different. My granddad was a Pegasus, and my nan is a donkey. But you know, love is love. I saw you the other day flying. You were so fast, it took me forever to learn to fly, as nobody else in my group has wings," Rio said. "Except my granddad, but always off doing things." Bobi said, "Snap! Well, I don't know about the nan and granddad thing, because I don't have either of those." Rio said, "I don't mind sharing. My granddad's funny, but don't stand behind him, because he likes to toot from his behind sometimes." Both donkeys laughed so loud that all of Bobi's group came over to investigate. And what did they see? The 2 winged donkeys rolling around the grass with laughter. Bobi's group said, "Oh no, another weird donkey." Rio stood up and said, "How do we know you are not the ones who are weird? I can fly. I can reach the highest hills and the deepest valleys. It takes me seconds to do what takes you ages to do." And he turned to Bobi and gave a wink. The other donkeys all huffed at Rio, turned around and trotted off. Bobi and Rio became best friends from then on. So now, one day, Bobi and Rio were soaring through the air, crisscrossing each other and doing loop-the-loops and spins, when in the distance, they both saw something that looked like them, but had a twinkle to it. So the 2 raced off in that direction. When they got there, nothing was there. So they landed on the hill, confused, still looking around them. Rio turned to Bobi and they both shrugged their shoulders. They had a little nibble on the grass, then whoosh, something flew over them. They looked around but couldn't see anything at all. They both felt a little cross by now though, as they know they saw something. Whoosh! There it was again. This time Bobi thought he saw something go behind the bush behind them, so he signaled to Rio. They both trotted over to the bus. To their surprise, they saw a donkey with 4 hoofs and big wings. It had a brown coat and a long pink horn. "Who are you? What are you? Where did you come from?" Bobi said. With a huge grin, the stranger said, "My name is Bruno. I'm a donkey." "That's a strange question. I live at the end of the river that way, between those 2 mountains." Bobi said, "But you have..." "Yeah, I've got big teeth, I know," Bruno said. "No," Rio said. "I think he's talking about your... Oh, my brown coat." "Yeah." "Nope," said Bobi. "I was about to say... I know what you're talking about. My wings." "Nope," Rio said. Bruno looked a little confused. "A horn! You have a horn!" Rio said. Bruno laughed and said, "Oh yeah, I forgot that's there. I've always had one." Just then, a large shadow came over them. It was Rio's granddad. "There you are," he said. "I've been looking for you everywhere." "Isn't this nice?" he went on to say. "Aren't you going to introduce me your friends, Rio?" They all grinned. Rio said, "This is Bobi. He is a donkey and he has a brown coat. This is Bruno. He is a donkey and he has a pink horn." "Well, you all look like donkeys to me," said Rio's granddad. "We have to go, Rio. Your grandma has got dinner ready." As Rio turned to leave, he said to Bobi and Bruno, "Let's meet up tomorrow and do some whooshy." "Sounds great," they both said. And the next day, they had a great day flying together. Bobi ini yang pakai double B sama Y ya. Beda sama keledai-keledai yang lain, tapi akhirnya Bobi menemukan Rio dan Bruno. Yang sama uniknya dengan Bobi dan mereka temenan deh. Bobi bacakan beberapa kosakata sulit di cerita tadi beserta dengan artinya. Dengarkan baik-baik ya. Pertama tadi kan banyak ya Sobat Bocin dengan kata whoosh, whoosh, whoosh di cerita tadi. Nah maksudnya itu terbang dengan cepat seperti angin. Whoosh. Racing adalah kata kerja bentuk ing. Artinya merumput atau kalau binatang yang ngunyah-ngunyah itu ya. Makan rumput di ladang itu. Lalu stranger adalah kata benda, artinya makhluk asing. Hoof adalah kata benda, artinya tapak atau kuku kuda. Carried on adalah kata kerja bentuk lampau, yang berarti melanjutkan. Cheer juga sama kata kerja bentuk lampau, artinya menghibur. Trot tadi juga banyak disebutkan ya di cerita, artinya keledainya itu lari-lari kecil gitu ya. Jalan cepat lah mungkin kalau di bahasa kita. Messing around adalah kata kerja bentuk ing, artinya bermain-main atau bercanda. Flirt adalah kata kerja bentuk lampau, artinya menatap atau melihatnya lama gitu. Matert adalah kata kerja bentuk lampau, yang maksudnya itu bergumam atau ngomong tak jelas gitu ya, suaranya nggak keluar jelas. Shrug adalah kata kerja bentuk lampau, artinya menaikkan pundak, tanda yang nggak tahu gitu. Yang terakhir, nibble adalah kata benda, artinya gigitan. Konteks cerita tadi itu rumputnya digigit sedikit gitu ya. Nah, menurut Sobat Bocin gimana soal cerita tadi? Tulis pendapat Sobat Bocin di kolom komentar ya, biar bisa jadi lebih baik lagi. Pesan Bobi dari cerita Bobi, kok bingung. Pesan dari cerita Bobi si keledai yang bisa terbang tadi, ya meskipun Sobat Bocin berbeda dengan yang lain, bukan berarti Sobat Bocin tidak bisa punya teman. Selama Sobat Bocin terus mencari, pasti ketemu kok teman yang cocok sama Sobat Bocin. Pastikan kamu lebih baik dari kemarin. Bye-bye.